Does love feel hard to you? Are relationships kind of a mystery to you? You're at the stage of life and you're like, why am I getting in my own way? Why is this not working? Why am I not meeting the man of my dreams or the woman of my dreams? And you're starting to doubt yourself. You're starting to think you're doing something wrong. What is that about? Well, what if it has nothing to do with you? Like maybe there's absolutely nothing you're doing wrong. Maybe it's something else. Well, I have one of my favorite teachers here today. I have Michael Neill in the house, and he is somebody. Yes, here he is. I have been following him and studying with him. I think he's brilliant. And one of the things I love about his work is he helps us see things differently. And maybe it's the old stories that are playing out in our life. Maybe it's what's between our ears that actually is creating our reality. Perhaps what we've learned about love is impacting the very thing that you're desiring. And what if next level love doesn't have to be so hard? What if it's just shifting your perception a little bit about what you're seeing to actually make it different? Michael's been coaching and helping people for over 30 years break through a lot of the thinking stuff to be able to create the life of their dreams. And I am so thrilled to have you here, Michael. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. This is very exciting. I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say.
I can't wait either.
I know.
Let's not wait any longer.
Okay.
um, I'll share with you. Michael and I were just talking right before we started, and when we do these podcasts, we have all these questions, and it's like, what are we going to talk about? And one of the things that we knew is we can have a real conversation and not necessarily structure it in any particular way. And I actually think that's kind of what we're talking about, is stop overthinking things on some level and just show up. And so, Michael, first question out the gate, without looking at my notes, we have someone here that is really wanting to have a quality life, want to have a quality relationship. And they might be struggling either to find somebody, or they're in a relationship that feels hard and they're trying so hard to make it work or to do the right thing. Take it away. No pressure.
Whoa. I feel none. I mean, honestly, like, if you're going to base your life on someone you've never met talking at you for half an hour, good luck to you. But here is where I would start.
Yeah.
We really misunderstand what our life is. So we think, I want a quality life. And then we make up all the different things that will look like, what that will look like at work, what that will look like at home, who I'll be with, whether there's a family involved or not. And this may sound radical, but actually, if you think about it, it's just true. This is your life. You listening to us chatting right now is your life. And you also may be thinking about stuff. Your life is not what you think you'll be doing after the show. Your life is not what you remember doing before the show. Your life is not what you think would be cool to do 10 years from now. Your life is not what you're worried you're going to have to do 2 years from now. This is your life. And when you start with that understanding, then having a quality life is really pretty straightforward, because you're either having it or not having it right now. Nothing needs to change for you to have a quality life.
Yeah.
Now, as part of that quality life, you may want to be in a quality relationship. How wonderful. I happen to be a fan of quality relationships. But your life is not dependent on it. Your well-being is not dependent on it. And I don't mean that as an affirmation like, I'm enough even without a partner. Yeah, you are, because you are the fullness of life embodied. Now, it's no big deal because so's Junie. It's no big deal because so am I. It's no big deal because so's my neighbor. It's no big deal because we're all the fullness of life in form. But when you start from there, having a relationship is and finding a partner, it's no longer the thing that's going to make you complete and whole. It's another expression that allows you to expand the amount of love you feel, the amount of fun you have, the amount of delight you can do, what you can create in the world. Like, it's great. Partnering up is super fun. Don't mean it's always straightforward. Don't mean it's always easy, but it can be super fun. But the second you start thinking that that partner is what you need to have a quality life, good luck to you, because there is pressure. You
Yeah.
got to get it right. And there's nothing like if you go up to somebody and say, "Hey, do you want to have a drink?" They'll say yes or they'll say no. But if you go up to somebody and go, "Hey, could you give my life meaning and make it so that I'm never unhappy again, and help me heal my childhood wounds, and never leave me no matter what," they're probably going to say no, even if you didn't say the last four bits out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. Take that one in, everyone. Take that one in. I just finished one of your courses, which I highly recommend to anybody, which was uneffing. We were not allowed to curse here mostly. Uneffing your relationship to money. And one of the things I loved about that course was it pertains to everything. And I'm going to just tie it to what you just said.
Yeah.
Because one of the things you said was, let's just say you make the millions that you want. And then you asked, how are you feeling right now with your life? Like, how are you right now? Well, that's how you're going to feel when you make the millions. Maybe in the moment, you're going to be like, woo! And then you go back to your life, like what's here right now. So if our life is right here, right now, and how we're feeling, how we're being in this moment, what can you offer to someone who is stuck in the but I did this before and I don't want to do it again, or I really want a relationship like this because I see other people have it, and they're outside of the moment, and yet there's a part of them that's desiring it. Like, how do you connect those two?
Well, yeah. So one of the things, I mean, it was interesting. I didn't remember that I was coming on. I apologize, but I didn't remember that I was coming on with you today. So this didn't, the connection didn't occur to me. But yesterday I was with a client, beautiful woman, older, had a long but troubled marriage and has had a long but troubled divorce. Now, few years out, she's sort of ready to find love again. And she was telling me about the first guy she met that she liked. And oh my God, there was just a light in his eyes, and he was really bright, and we just talked for 3 hours. But I can't go out with him because and
Yeah, yeah. The
and I'm
list,
like,
the list, the list.
and I understood it from the point of view, if I thought that I can't be trusted in love, if I thought, oh, I'm a danger to myself and others when I'm in love because I just do stupid things, blah, 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 because, and look, here's all the times in the past, so let me prove it to you. Well, of course, I'm going to create a list to
Yeah,
protect myself
yeah,
from me. But the truth is, when you're here, and we've all had moments when we're here, you don't do stupid things. Actually, you're incredibly clear. And desire is one of, and I mean in this case, not sexual desire, but desire, wanting.
yeah,
Wanting is actually the most beautiful navigational tool we were all born with. And it's not, do I want to be with this person forever? Do I want to? It's a real time intelligence. So I said to this woman, I was, we have a good relationship. So I was kind of laughing and I was like, um, so I hear the list, but I have just one little question for you. Um, if he asks you to dinner, do you want to go? And she reacted like you just did. And she said, yeah, probably. And I said, great. That's all
Yeah,
you need to know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
we project everything into the future. We add so much meaning and story to everything that happens that everything feels like enormous. And I mean, I remember when so I have a funny relationship with my wife in books. So I write books and I don't let my wife read them until they're published because I care so much about what she thinks that I know if I have her read a draft and she doesn't like gush, I'll rewrite the whole thing. So
yeah, yeah.
that's just my rule. So she read one of my first big books, the Inside Out Revolution, when it first came out, and she said, "Mikey, I really like this, but I hope you don't mind my saying it's kind of a simple premise." And I was like curious because I was like, okay, what's the premise? And she said, you're really just saying that we don't have to make mountains out of molehills. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I kind of am.
yeah,
And that when we don't, it's really not that hard to navigate. But when we turn everything into a big deal or a problem to be solved or the solution to all my problems, then everything feels like a big deal and it's hard.
yeah, yeah. And huge. And when I started listening to you a while back, I was like, it's so simple. I mean, really, it is so simple.
Yeah.
And yet we're so trained to make it hard and difficult. Our brains are so, but what if, but what if? For those of you that know, last year I did the Your Best Life with Junie Moon show. It was because of Michael. Well, Michael's work helped me see this is something I wanted to do. It felt good to do. But in the beginning, there was but who's going to come and how much is it going to cost and will it be accepted? And I was so in my head with all the things of the future that may or may not happen, which slowed me down a little bit. And that's okay. I noticed it. And that's the point. It's like I noticed that I was building the mountains when it was like, I want to do this. Let's just take the next step. Let's just take the next step. What's here in this moment. And so while I think it is so simple to be like, oh, there's a thought. Let's come back to here. We're so ingrained to overcomplicate things and to,
We are, and we live in a culture that encourages it.
yeah,
So it's not weird. It's not like a failing that we do that. Everyone's telling us we're supposed to. It's irresponsible not to
yeah.
overthink everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of how the mind works is it works best as a receiver. And in order for it to pick up the signals of our own knowing, our own intuition, our own guidance, our own wanting, it can't be full. Like if you're playing 8 shows up here, it can't hear the one you actually want to listen to. And it's just physics. It's just how it works. It's not it's not your fault, but if you're trying to listen to something and you're playing really loud music in the background, you're going to find it harder to listen to than if you kind of turn the music off. And people go, "Well, how do I stop? I can't stop thinking." Well, no, but the way I explained it to a client once is I said, look, if you're listening to the radio, especially like top 40 radio, you don't, it might not be up to you if it's not your car, which station you listen to. And if a song you don't like comes on, you might not be able to stop it from coming on, but you don't have to sing along.
Mm,
It's just that. Thoughts come, but until you give them your attention, they also go.
exactly.
It's only the ones we breathe life into. I sometimes talk about thought as like a flaccid balloon, right? It's impotent. It doesn't have any power, but we start paying attention to it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. This gets
It gets
real
bigger and
big.
bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's like, of course I've got to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But it's like, and it's gone.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's gone. Then it's gone. You mentioned the trusting or the intuition, and a lot of my clients, when they come to me, they feel like they've lost access to that intuition
Mm.
because of the things that have happened. Why did I stay too long? I keep going after narcissist after narcissist. I mean, the patterns that they've identified, the stories that they've created
Yeah.
around their history, and they say, I don't know if I can trust myself, my instincts anymore. And when you were just sharing that, my thought was, we need to lower the volume of all that so they can actually slow down and actually listen and feel, does this feel right or doesn't it feel right? With that said, from how you work, I'm curious, what might you offer to someone around, I don't know if I trust myself anymore. Look at my history here. I'm starting over again, and I don't want to make the same mistakes.
So it's a conversation I have a lot, because it's a conversation that, now the first thing that I might be inclined to point out to somebody who says that is you trusting your instinct.
Mm,
Like, knowing that I can't trust my instincts is you trusting your instinct.
that's a truth bomb. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so you're already kind of on track. Now, what you can then do is you can start to pay attention to your instincts differently. And what I do sometimes with people is I'll sit down with them and they'll tell me about all the things they did wrong and all the mistakes they made. And inevitably, they didn't listen to themselves. They weren't
Yeah.
trusting their instincts. They were chasing their excitement. They were avoiding their fear. They weren't trusting their knowing. They
Yeah.
weren't trusting that simple voice inside. They weren't trusting the very real, very simple wanting or knowing. They weren't listening to their common sense. But because they kind of thought about it a lot, they thought that was what instinct is. I've one of my mentors had a metaphor that I always have loved, which is, if your instincts, your wisdom, your knowing, your wanting is like a piccolo in a marching band. Right?
Oh,
All
what
the
an
thinking
amazing
about stuff
metaphor.
is the marching band, the overthinking, the trying to work it out, the yeah, but what about, and what about, that's the tubas and the bass drums and the snares and the
Mm,
and so yeah, it is hard to hear the piccolo when you're playing the marching band. But if you let the marching band march on without you, you'll hear the piccolo
and
and
to
it's
notice that
always
there
good.
is a marching band.
Yeah.
It's like so often we don't even realize there's all that
Well, no,
noise.
because it looks like the world outside us is chaotic.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't know. There's a name for the effect when you're in a parked car and the car next to you
Oh,
moves,
it's
and
so weird.
it
It's
feels like
so
you
weird.
you
Yeah.
you get this jolt. It's like that. It looks like it's the world doing it,
Yep.
but it's actually our own thinking spinning so fast that makes the world look like it's spinning so
Mm,
fast.
yeah. So, what might you say to someone like, how do you slow it down? I mean, I get the whole, like for me, when I listen to you, it's like, okay, just keep noticing, just keep noticing. If I'm feeling stress, if I'm feeling emotions that I don't want to feel, it's like, where is that coming from? What's going on? Am I in the moment, or am I in the future, or am I in the past? Like I can slow that down and notice, and that usually breaks through to the other side. For someone who might be just listening for the first time, going, okay, yeah, I'm constantly in my head. I'm constantly trying to figure stuff out, but I think I need to do that. Otherwise, I might miss something. Again, it's
So,
coming back to
so,
that
so
safety
again,
thing.
that person has nailed it without knowing that they've nailed it.
Yeah,
As long as you think it's a good idea, you're going to keep doing it no matter how much you say you want to slow down.
yeah,
If you think it's important to overthink things and to keep it going and to scenario plan and to pre-live every date and every phone call and to then relive every, like, there's no point in trying to slow your mind down because fundamentally you think it's a bad idea.
yeah,
So the first conversation that we have is beginning to notice how much smarter we all are when this isn't spinning out of control. And it's, I sometimes jokingly, but also accurately, will say to somebody, I have a secret and I can make it. All right, Junie Moon, I can make it so that you will never again lose a game of pin the tail on the donkey. Do you want to know my secret?
Yes.
Okay. Don't let them blindfold you and don't let them spin you around before your turn. And you will win every game of pin the tail on the donkey. But when we're running scenarios in our head, and then we're trying to figure out our life. Of course we struggle.
Yeah.
So the trick, and I call it a trick, but it's really common sense, is it's not about slowing down. It's about not speeding up. We're not built to rev, but we're capable of revving. And if we think revving is important, we will rev. Mm-hmm. But if it stops looking like a good idea to us, then when we notice ourselves doing it, we'll stop. We'll take our foot off the gas. We'll stop feeding more quarters into the jukebox. We'll stop singing along with all the songs. Yeah. They may still carry on in the background without us, but they won't really impact our lives.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I think tuning into, well, at least how I'm looking at it is tuning into, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good. I don't like it. And so, it's like between a rock and a hard place. Sometimes it's like, well, if I am constantly thinking, I'm not moving forward. It's hard. I can't sleep. But if I don't, then I might miss something. I might end up falling down the rabbit hole. And then there's well, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Just because I hear that a lot, and it doesn't even make sense. Like, if I'm not continually distracting myself, I might miss something. I think it works the opposite way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when I stop continually distracting myself, I'm very unlikely to miss anything that matters.
Yes. And I totally get it. I know exactly what you're saying. And if somebody, it's like trying to solve the problem within the problem. If somebody's in it and they're in their thinking, and this is new to them, and they're thinking, well, if I stop doing that, I might miss something. Yes. Okay. They're questioning what we're talking about right now. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like trying to find the question here, because I'm thinking
I've got
go for it.
And it's a really simple question, and it's a genuine question.
Yeah.
Do you want it to get better?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want it to get better, it's probably worth considering the possibility that the way you're currently doing it isn't the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm simply proposing a way that I have seen over 36 years now really does work better. I have a very simple rule of thumb. My newest book is not out yet, but it's called Your Life, Your Way: The Surprising Power of Being Yourself. I don't want a stake in how anyone uses their mind or lives their life, but I have a big stake in people understanding how it works. Because once you understand how it works, you'll figure it out. So if you, the person who, if you want it to get better, you don't want to win this argument with us. You want to lose this argument.
Yeah.
You want to be wrong. And so my simple rule of thumb with which thoughts are worth listening to and which ones aren't is, if it feels bad and it doesn't help, you don't need to keep thinking it. If it feels bad, but you think it might help, okay, you might keep doing it. If it feels good and doesn't really help, you might keep thinking it. But at the extremes, if it feels good and it's helpful, why wouldn't you keep thinking it? And if it feels bad and it doesn't help, why would you? And it's enough to just notice the edges. The middle will kind of take care of itself.
I think that's it. I mean, seriously, everything you just said is boom, right there. That's the whole of it. That's the beginning of the, oh, okay. If it feels good and I like this, I'm going to keep doing it, or not. And to start there, to just so simply start there and start looking at how you might be contributing to making it way more painful than it needs to be. Start questioning where, and actually, I'm going to ask you this because maybe you don't think this way. And I've been looking forward to our conversation because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll say something and he'll be like, well, actually, I see this differently. Like to notice the thoughts and going, well, that's not making me feel good, so I'm not going to go there. Do you think it's a good idea, in addition to what you just said, to go, is that thought valid? Is that thought making me feel better, putting me on the right path? Or are you supporting the don't even go there? Is it feeling good? Is it not feeling good? Versus it's like
Yeah,
a rabbit hole. You might go into the thinking
no,
about the thinking. You know what I mean?
I'm very much the latter. We already overthink things.
Yeah, yeah.
Thinking about our overthinking is not going to help with our overthinking.
Exactly.
An
Yeah.
analogy that some people find easier is if 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 you're going to take out the garbage, you don't need to go through and analyze each piece of garbage first.
Great
You can
example.
just throw out the garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to know where it came from. You don't need to know who did this, who said
Yeah,
what.
because you're going to get pretty messy if you go through tin can by tin can. Like
Yeah.
it's just not going to go well. But actually, it's easy enough to toss the garbage and start fresh.
Yeah. Kind of like Nike, just do
Well,
it.
I don't want to make it sound like we mustn't think. The problem is not
No.
that we think. The problem is
Yeah.
that we overthink and we overthink and we overthink.
Yeah.
A little bit of thinking goes a long way.
Yeah. And I want to bring in just the compassion of being human. I mean, that we've been set up for this since we were born, our culture, being human for survival. Be careful, do it this way, don't do it that way. And then we have all these experiences that give us proof of, see, I should have done it this way, or I shouldn't have done it that way. So, if you're at the beginning of, and I'm talking to the listener now, if you're at the beginning of, I didn't see it this way, mountain, molehill, all this thinking, that it's okay, be gentle with yourself, because we all start somewhere. And I know when I had my eyes blasted wide open like 20, 30 years ago with, the past does not equal the future. And I could just be here and see it differently. Like it started me on this path. And so to not make yourself wrong, because that's just another insult to injury with the thinking, I should have figured this out long ago. And so just be gentle with yourself.
One of the things that I sometimes just as an experiment suggest to people, so if you want, you can take this out as an experiment. Just for a week, don't use the gift of thought against yourself.
Yeah.
Just don't. If you notice yourself doing it, just stop. It's such a habit that we can trace back to the Bible, but I mean, it's like, oh well, if I was born in original sin, so I need to keep this horrible beast that I am in line, and it's like if you're willing to for a week, risk it for a week. I actually, funnily enough, have in my diary, I had a new client and I gave her this challenge, and it says in our calendars at 2 p.m. Pacific today, Jean can go back to giving herself crap.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will tell you, I will warn you that if you go a week with minimal self crap giving, you probably won't ever go back to it.
Yeah.
We do a lot better when we're not stepping on ourselves the whole time. So that part of it is huge. It really is. And the other thing is, it's kind of exciting. Like you're probably, if you're listening to this, at least a vaguely functional human being. If you've been able to at least vaguely function in the world with a complete misunderstanding of how the mind works, imagine how much better it's going to get when you start working more in line with how the mind actually works.
Yes, we are
And
so
that's
much
kind of
more.
exciting.
Yeah, it is, and we're still standing. Yeah, and we
Yeah.
have choice, and yeah, we're way more powerful than we give ourselves credit
Yeah.
to.
And way
Come
more
up and
resilient than we think we are.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Back to telling you how awesome I think you are. One of the things I love about you is how transparent you are. That you're not perfect. That you're not perfect. That you have moments too that are not perfect. So I'm curious, when you find yourself in those moments of perhaps angst, or in the story, or technical something goes wrong, or whatever it is, how do you work it within yourself? Do you catch it right away? Is it something you might get? I'm just curious how Michael Neill handles this.
So I got to go a little bit wide to answer it.
Yeah,
One of the fundamental things that is obvious to me, but does not seem to be apparent to many people, is that there is not a right way to be.
yeah, yes. I'm so glad you're bringing this in.
So
Mm-hmm.
if we start with the premise that there's a right way to be, then of course our job has to be to try and figure out what the right way to be is, and then to try to be that way.
Yeah,
And so then anytime we're not that way, we're in conflict.
yeah.
One of the exercises I'll often do early on in a training is I'll ask people to sit down with each other and share the right way to be in relationship, the right way to be here. And what's always funny is how directly opposite all the rules people have for the right way to be are. Everybody agrees there's a right way to be, but they're not even close in agreeing what it is.
Yep.
If you don't start with the premise that there's a right way to be, then it's not problematic that sometimes you get caught up and sometimes you get upset and sometimes you do stupid stuff. Because why? Okay, so
Mm,
that's true. But sometimes I'm kind of brilliant. And sometimes I'm really effective. And sometimes I really love my life.
yeah.
And if there's not a right way to be, then there's not a problem that needs to be solved along the way.
How
And I
freeing.
can just be myself as I am, knowing that, yeah, I'll sort out, it'll be clumsy at first. Like learning to walk was pretty clumsy. If you had kids, you saw it. Like they were not smooth at the beginning. But you find your feet and it gets easier and easier and easier to the point where you don't even have to think about it.
Ah, such a brilliant freaking answer. I'm so glad you brought the right thing up, because that's the setup. It's another setup
Yeah.
of, oh man, I got to work harder. I have to have it look this way, be this way,
Yeah.
versus it is,
Yeah.
and rolling with it.
Yeah. I mean, look, every human being I ever met is a lovable mess. And some people are obsessed with the messiness and don't notice the lovability. And some people are
Mm,
obsessed with the lovability and don't notice the mess.
yeah,
Everybody's got both.
I love that. Michael, yeah, I'm so thrilled to have found your work. Where can people find you? And is there anything else you want to share with our
Sure.
listeners, watchers?
Yeah. So michaelneill.org is my playground. They built me on the web. And so all of our programs and memberships and online courses and live courses are all there. And then the thing that I would like to mention by the time this comes out is we've been working for almost 6 months with a development team in Europe on creating an AI version of me.
Oh my God, I'll
And
be the first one in
and
line.
and so if you go to michaelneill.ai, by the time you listen to it, if you go now, right when we're recording, you can put your name down to be notified. But
Okay.
within a couple of weeks of this recording, we should
Oh,
be live. And we've been testing this and testing it. And I was talking to my best friend last night, who's known me for 38 years, and he was saying, at 1 in the morning when I'm not going to text you, it's really great to have digital Michael on my phone.
Oh my God, I can't tell you how excited I am.
Yeah, I was so resistant to this, but
Uh-huh.
honestly, it's really good.
Oh, it must be so much fun. I mean, I'm sure everyone has a
Yeah,
sense of your sense of humor, but when I
yeah,
tell you this man has made me laugh out loud over and
yeah,
over listening to him having a conversation with you
yeah,
like that. Oh my God, I will make
yeah.
sure it's in the show notes.
Nice.
That is
Thank
so
you.
exciting. Oh, is that your
That's my
puppy?
pup. That's Sergeant
Golden
Pepper.
Doodle, right?
Sergeant Pepper, the Golden Doodle.
Oh, I love seeing him. Oh my gosh. Michael, thank you. Thank you for your time. Such golden wisdom. I'm so grateful to have had this time with you.
Thank you for having me.
That's our show for today. Please be sure to like and subscribe. But more importantly, I think this message is just so profound. It could change so many lives. I invite you to think about at least one person that would get some value from this and share it with them, because we all support each other and help each other be the best we can be and have the best lives. And if people are in their heads, and we all are to some extent, this might be the ticket to the molehill instead of the mountain. And so yeah, share away until we meet again. Mwah. One more thing before you go. Have you taken my Discover Your Love Avatar quiz? It's a 2-minute quiz that can help you not only know your strengths, your superpower because you have one, also identify some of your blind spots, some of the things that might be having you in your fear, having you behaving in ways that aren't in alignment with your highest self, the way you want to be when it comes to dating and relationships. And it'll also help you discover why maybe the stars haven't lined up for you yet. Bottom line is, you take this 2-minute quiz, you get a full report in your email with details on how to move forward in next level love, whether you want a partner or not. So you can go to midlifeloveoutloud.com/love quiz. The link is in the show notes as well. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to the station, I'm going to encourage you to do that too, so you don't miss any episodes. And I hope you got a ton out of today's. See you next week. Mwah.